Hi everybody and welcome to Everyday Manna. Today we are going to be making some of my favorite Asian Chinese dishes. We're going to make a kung pao chicken, which is so easy to do and so delicious, and my absolute favorite thing, which is homemade egg rolls. Spoiler, once you make these, you're not going to want the egg rolls from any restaurant ever again. They are so very good. And then to go alongside that, we're just going to make a simple little ginger dressing to go on a salad. You know how when you go to a Japanese restaurant or a Chinese restaurant and you get that little bowl of lettuce in the beginning and sometimes they put what they call the shrimp sauce. I like the ginger dressing better, so we're going to make a homemade ginger dressing and it's going to be delicious. Now, anytime you are cooking an Asian dish, a Chinese food dish, it is very important that you have your things prepped and cut and sliced and all of that before you start cooking because it happens very quickly. So we're going to start on the sauce for the kung pao chicken. Now in here I have about half a cup of just chicken broth. I have here some rice vinegar, some soy sauce. I like low sodium soy sauce. Some hoisin sauce, which you can find in where you get the soy sauce and the different Asian ingredients, water chestnuts and so forth. It's hoisin sauce. It adds a lot of flavor and sweetness. It's really good. We're going to add some crushed garlic, of course, as much as you like, at least a clove. Maybe a little more, and then some finely grated ginger, fresh ginger. This is the one ingredient that you absolutely cannot substitute dried ginger that you get in the spice section. Fresh ginger, let me show you a little bit, is a root, a rhizome actually, and it looks like this. You want to make sure you get the smooth peel and, just as much or as little as you need. You can also buy it in the produce section. You can get it in the tube, where they have the fresh herbs and stuff. They have tubes of garlic and ginger and all different kinds of things. You can get it pureed in that form, but do not substitute the dried ginger because it has a completely different flavor profile. It's great for baking. It is not the same as fresh ginger. So we're going to mix that up first. Then we're going to add in a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it just a little bit. And then whisk all that together. I'm not adding any salt in here because soy sauce is salty. If you want to add some fresh cracked pepper, you can. We are going to add some crushed chili flakes, so we don't want it to be too hot for those that are a little sensitive to heat. And then just set that aside. We don't need it right yet. We're going to chop our vegetables. Now, I cheated and bought shredded up carrots. You can shred up carrots yourself if you want to. We do need some onion. I'm using scallions. If you don't have scallions, by all means, you can use a small white onion would be fine. Let me get that in my little bowl. I'm going to go ahead and put as I chop, I'm going to add it to my little container to take to the stove because this does happen very quickly. I do want to save some greens for the top, so I'm not going to chop those right yet. I am going to turn on my stove. You want your skillet preheated to medium-high heat. If you don't have a wok, don't worry. I have one, but I'm just going to use a big skillet. This is a 12-inch nonstick skillet. I have one red bell pepper. You could use any color pepper you like. I just really like my favorite is the red, but I also like the flavor of the red bell pepper better. I do like to trim the little membrane out of there with a little paring knife. You can slice this, you can chop it, however you want it. I'm going to actually just do thin little slices. I may cut them in half so they're more bite size. I always cut peppers from the inside. I think it's easier to cut. Instead of the out shiny part, I do the inside. You could use a green pepper, you could use a yellow or orange pepper, a sweet pepper. These are not hot peppers, these are sweet peppers. You could also add in some broccoli if you wanted to. You really can add any kind of vegetable that you want. Okay, now let's take all of our prepped veggies, put my little green onions right there, over to the stove. I have this preheated, and I'm going to add just a little bit of a neutral oil. This is just canola. This is optional, but I'm going to add just a touch of sesame oil, just for flavor. This stuff is incredible. It tastes so good. I'm actually going to start on the vegetables first. I'm going to add in my peppers and those scallions. And then I'm going to add in my carrots. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of dried red pepper flakes and some more fresh ginger. I love the flavor of fresh ginger. Let me grab a little, let me get a little spoon here or something to get the rest of that out of there. Fresh ginger is potent. It has a little tiny bit of spice to it. I love it. And again, you cannot substitute the dried. It's not the same. You do not want to cook these vegetables to death. You want them to retain their crisp coloring. Look how pretty that looks. Okay, we're just going to let that hang out for just a minute. Now, I bought pre-diced up chicken. You want to have about a pound, pound and a half or so. I like chicken breast, but if you like chicken thighs, you could use that. I found it already cut up in the meat section of my grocery store. Not necessary, but you know, for ease here, I just went ahead and got the pre-cut up ones. But if you don't, you want to trim them and you want to cut them into, you know, about an inch size piece. This just literally takes about another minute because I don't want those veggies to overcook. I just want to take the raw off. I like to use 2 wooden spoons to just kind of toss it around. Have a bowl separate so that you can put these in it. I'm going to let them go about 30 more seconds, and that's it. Then they're coming out. I have just a bowl here that I'm going to put them in and set them aside. I think stir fries are the ultimate 30-minute meal. It just literally takes that length of time. Of course, if you like your vegetables a little softer, then you can cook them for a little bit more time. But they are going to go back in just a minute to the chicken. Add a little bit more oil and then add in your chicken. This is just diced. I'm not going to add any salt. Just going to break that up a little bit. But I am going to put some pepper in there. You want them cut up, you know, about an inch or so in size. High heat. And then we're going to add some pepper. I'm just going to stir fry these. I'm going to clean this up, get these browned and ready to go. And when I come back, we'll finish this dish up and we will start on our egg rolls. I'll be back in just a minute. righty, welcome back. Now we've just been stir frying using my 2 tongs here, this chicken, and it's done. I'm gonna take my sauce, kind of stir it, pour that in there. Now the cornstarch will be activated by the heat, and it'll just thicken that sauce up just a little bit. Let that come up to a simmer. Got quiet. Let that come up to a simmer. I am going to let that go for just a minute, and then till that kind of reduces just a little tiny bit, thickens up just a little bit, add my vegetables back in, and that's it. We're done. It really literally, from start to finish, is done in under 15 minutes. I mean, stir fry does not take that long. You see how that's already started thickening? That's what you want. Now, I like to have a lot of sauce in there because I like to serve this over rice, and that way your rice has some sauce on it. Add your veggies back in, and you're done. Seriously, that's finished. Just look how pretty that looks. Yum. Oh, that's so good. All right, we're just going to set this to the side for a few minutes. I'm going to move this skillet over. This is just a large skillet that I am going to let the oil in there preheat. I'm just using canola oil. Vegetable oil will work, just some kind of a neutral oil. I'm going to fry my egg rolls, so I need this to get hot while I work on the filling for the egg rolls. All right, so I'm just going to use this same skillet because I forgot to get one out. So let's go ahead and put our Kung Pao chicken in our serving dish. I mean, the flavor profiles are basically the same. So we can just let that go. I'll wipe it out with some paper towels, but hey, it's fine. It is fine. That sauce is so good, that'll just add a lot of flavor to the egg rolls. Now, we want to preheat this eye just a little bit because we're going to cook our pork. And I didn't get it out of the fridge. Hang on just a second here. I have here about a 1/4 pound of just ground pork. Now, this is a recipe that you can, I'll just use the same utensils, make with shrimp. If you want to, you can use either fresh shrimp that you've chopped up and cooked like this, or you can use the little cans of little baby shrimp, drain it really good. I've done it both ways. It's all delicious. Just gonna let that brown for just a second. I mean, I don't think I want that to be that hot, so let's move that one off. Let's go over here and let's chop up our vegetables. For egg rolls, I want to have some crunch. So I'm just going to use water chestnuts, just a can that I've drained. You don't need all of them, but you can do this with a knife if you want to. I love this little chopper, though, I'm telling you. It's just perfect. Look at that. And you get absolutely perfect little slices of, or chops of anything you put in there. I'm going to use a couple of scallions. I'm just going to let them, I'm again going to save the greens because I want to garnish with those. I'm going to add this to my water chestnuts. Be careful of that blade. That is very sharp. Can't tell you how many times I have cut my fingers with that. I have here some more fresh ginger. So good. Oh, that smells amazing. And some soy sauce. Let's go back over here to the stove. I'm going to cook my pork. If you wanted to make this with ground chicken, you could. If you wanted to make this vegetarian, leave the meat out. Totally up to you. Good either way. You could make it with ground beef if you wanted to. I like the richness and the fattiness that the pork provides. We're just wanting to brown, that's what we're doing. Let it sort of hang out there. Let that get good and brown. Then we will add this. Now, you will need to get some egg roll wrappers. You find these in the produce section where they have, usually where they have the fresh herbs in the little packets hanging up, or tofu or that kind of thing. You just need one package of egg roll wrappers. They are so versatile for so many things, but essential for making egg rolls. Just want to kind of let that brown a little bit. Let that go. Do its thing. You could shred your own cabbage if you want to. I'm not going to do that. I just bought a bag of coleslaw mix. I won't need this whole bag. But if you want to shred your own, you can shred up some cabbage and some carrots. Or just use the bag of coleslaw mixture. It's already done for you. All right, that's looking good. Kind of want to let that get all the pink gone. This actually takes longer than the chicken. And isn't that so strange? All right, when it's about 90% of the way ready, add in your chopped up water chestnuts, garlic. Oh, I love it so much. Can't wait to eat this. I like to give that a little bit of a stir before I add in my cabbage. Okay, let that just kind of soften just a little bit. All right, and then add in your cabbage or your coleslaw mix. I'm going to add probably half this bag, and I'll judge it and see at the end what I'm going for. Woo. Get that off that eye before it burns. Kind of stir that in. And add a little bit of soy sauce. Don't add too much liquid, probably about 3 tablespoons. If you add too much liquid, it causes your egg roll wrappers, when you finalize them, to become soggy, and that is not what you want. You really are just wilting the cabbage. That's all you want to do. About 30 seconds, and that is good to go. Turn that one off. Set it aside to cool just a second. Let's put our oil back on the heat. Set our kung pao to the side. Let's put it over here for a minute. Let's put it over here for a minute. I'm going to clean this up, get ready, and when I come back, I'll show you how to wrap these and how to fry them. The best part, how to eat them. So I'll be back in just a minute. You know, on another note, I've got just a few of these little water chestnuts left. I'm just going to add them to the kung pao chicken. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but why not? I have them here. So I'm going to add these, not in the recipe, but you can do whatever you want if you want. If it's your cooking, you can do what you want. I'm going to add these, clean this up. When we come back, I'll show you how to wrap these and how to fry them. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I have my filling. You want to take a spoonful. Do not overfill these. As tempting as that is, you will be sorry. take a spoonful, put it kind of center, kind of a little below center on the diagonal, just like you see me doing here. I like to kind of get a little assembly line going. I think that's good. Then you want to take your finger, clean hands, and put some water on the upper edge. That will act as the glue. All right, now here's where you got to take your bottom triangle, put it over, kind of tuck that back in there. Take one corner, fold it over, take the other corner, fold it over, and then just roll it up. And then take a little extra water. There you go. Here we go again. Fold it. If you overfill, it will explode in the oil. I mean, it's still edible, obviously, but it'll be, it'll explode and your inside will get a little greasier than what you want. And friends, that's how you make homemade egg rolls. And again, I'm telling you, if you make these, and I strongly encourage you to do it, you won't want egg rolls in a restaurant. That's just, it will ruin it for you. But that's a good thing because these taste infinitely better. I have never tried them in the air fryer. I would assume that you can fry them, maybe spray it with a little bit of canola oil or something. I just fry them. I mean, to me, they just taste amazing fried. It's not something I make often because it's a labor of love, but oh, is it ever so, so good. All right, and then I'll just show you how to do these real quick. You just simply take them in your hot oil, seam side down. They do not take very long at all. I like to have a little tong. If you make them all up, there are, I think, how many are in here? Like 16 or so. I don't remember. No, about 20 egg roll wrappers. So you can make them all up, but for TV purposes, I'm going to not. Once you see them starting to brown, you see how that's getting brown? Turn them over. And let them go on the other side. Have a cooling rack ready. They literally only take about a minute. And they're so good. You just are frying up that egg roll wrapper. Let it go. It's delicious. And I'm getting my stuff moved, keeping an eye on that. I'm going to show you how to make a quick little salad dressing. Check my egg rolls. Don't want to overdo them. About done. Just until they're golden. And that's all you need to do to make homemade egg rolls. All right, let's get those out and start on and just repeat the process till you use up all your stuff. But for TV purposes, we're gonna just do 4 for the moment. I'll make the rest up later. Oh, very important that you put them on a rack. I should have put paper toweling under there, but I didn't. Because if you lay them just flat, they're going to get soggy. If you put them on the cooling rack, they stay crisp. I will say, if you have any leftovers, and you might, may not, but you might, they crisp up the next day beautifully in the air fryer. I have done that. Last time I made them at home, we had some left over, Mike and I, the next day. Wanted them, and I just popped them in the air fryer for just a minute, like literally about a minute, and it was done. Now, let's make a quick and easy little salad dressing. This could not be simpler. About 1/4 cup of oil, your choice, some rice vinegar, some toasted sesame oil, some mirin, which you find where you get the rice vinegar and the soy sauce, a little tiny bit of sugar or sugar substitute, and carrots. You might need some more oil or water to thin it, possibly. Pop it in your blender, turn it on. Let it go. If you see that you need to add some water to thin it out, and I think I do, I'm just going to add the rest of that. That's all you need to do. And then let it go. And it is a wonderful, I forgot the most important ingredient, ginger. You need ginger. It is a ginger dressing. You need to add some fresh ginger to this. I like to peel mine. You don't have to. Potent stuff. I wouldn't do too much, maybe about an inch or so. Can't believe I forgot the ginger. I'm smelling, I'm like, it doesn't smell like what I'm used to it. And I realized, hey, you forgot the most important ingredient. This is a ginger dressing. Buzz that up, and you're done. Let it go. Serve it. Over a salad of your choice with your egg rolls and your Kung Pao chicken, and you have got a delicious, healthy, you've controlled the ingredients. Be careful of these blades, they are so sharp. Let me put a little bit of this on my salad, and there you go. A little bit of a ginger dressing, ginger carrot dressing for your salad. Make it as thin or thick as you like, as much or as little as you like. And you've got our homemade egg rolls and our wonderful Kung Pao chicken. Any day of the week, I'd serve some rice alongside this. You can cook Chinese at home. It is that simple and that quick. Thank you for joining with me, and I'll see you next time on Everyday Manna.